Joe Hofstadter here for Boss Teaching. Are you a teacher? Do your students drive you crazy? Do you sometimes wish you'd chosen a different path? Well, question no longer. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a whole new world of teaching that will blow your mind. Growing up, we were largely exposed to one form of schooling, the one where you had to sit quietly at your desk, or get yelled at, or worse. Punishment was always lurking just around the corner for those in need, and as I recall, someone was always in need. Well, I'm here today to tell you about a revolutionary new method brought to us by Dr. Peter Ross, Boss Teaching. This method relies on evidence-based practices that capitalize on the tenets of child psychology, and it allows us to have a well-behaved classroom that actually encourages learning. What is Boss Teaching, you may ask? It's actually an acronym, and it stands for Behavioral Opportunities for Social Skills. In short, the secret to Boss is to simply ignore unwanted or bad behaviors and praise positive ones. It sounds easy, possibly too good to be true, but that really is all it boils down to. This book explains it all in detail, but let me give you a bit of a preview of what you'll find inside. Evidence-Based Practices for Boss Teaching is a book that combines the results of scientific research with simple instruction and colloquial language so absolutely anyone can benefit from it, even people who are not teachers. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, even siblings can learn how children develop their brains and respond to outside stimuli. Boss explains that children are compliant by nature. They want to make adults happy. When adults express their pleasure at a behavior, that encourages the child to display that behavior with higher frequency. On the flip side of that coin, though, young children have a diminished sense of time, so punishments, especially delayed or extended punishments, are ineffective. They simply do not get associated with the behavior that triggered them, so the behavior doesn't change. Boss recommends that teachers take advantage of that compliant nature, capitalize on it. Instead of punishing bad behavior, ignore it. I know it sounds like an impossible task, but you can do it. Paying no to any behavior, even in a punishing or admonishing way, is reinforcing that behavior by giving the children what they want: attention. Speaking of admonishing, all of those comments we grew up hearing: be quiet, sit down, I said be quiet. How many times must I tell you? These are known as critical authoritarian remarks. CARs. We want to avoid CARs because all they do is hurt. They don't give results, and they hurt the feelings of their targets. We are led to believe these kinds of comments work, though, because we grew up hearing them, and our personal folders are full of them. All our experience says they work, even when the evidence that they don't is right in front of our eyes. So throw out those personal folders, empty them from your brain, and fill up your professional folder instead with the facts from this book. Teach your children about complementary and polite behaviors, CPBs. These are those behaviors we want to see: sitting quietly, doing the assigned work, lining up neatly, raising a hand to comment, and cooperating well with neighbors. As you see these actions, talk about them. Tell children how good it is. Bring it to everyone's attention. Watch them learn to love doing the right thing. And the next thing you know, yours is the best class in the school. Now, here's the best part. If you act now, you could be a boss teacher in a matter of days. All it takes is a little effort and the willingness to follow just a few easy steps. First, state that you will be watching for CPBs and frequently compliment students during the day when they demonstrate them. Second, while continuing to point out CPBs daily, after a few days, have students volunteer at the end of the day to point out their own examples of their CPBs from that day. Third, continue the first two steps, then ask the students to acknowledge each other's CPBs. Finally, encourage the students to point out each other's CPBs throughout the day while continuing the original 3 steps. It really doesn't take long to see results, and the best part is that these results are long-lasting. Once you turn yourself around from working off of personal experience to utilizing evidence-based practices, you can become not only the boss of yourself and your classroom, but truly a boss teacher. Don't wait. Call now. This is a no-risk purchase with a money-back guarantee. Not that you'll need it. Get your copy today and set foot on your journey to becoming a boss teacher.